Good morning, students and teachers. Welcome to Tuesday. It's Uncle Tim Styles back with you again. Hope you're all having a great morning so far. Wait a minute, it's really dark. Can you see me? It looks really dark. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, how about now? No, still pretty dark. Okay, how about, let's try this. Ooh, that's a little better, isn't it? But still not very good. That's not going to do very well, is it? Let's fix this problem. There we go. We just needed a little bit of light. So where were we? Welcome to Tuesday. Is it a bonjour morning today at CHC? If you don't know what a bonjour morning is, or you can't remember what a bonjour morning is, ask Auntie Ashley. So we left off yesterday talking about Noah and how the world in Noah's day had become so wicked, so evil, and so corrupt that God had decided he was going to destroy the earth. There was no other better option. In fact, the world was so corrupt, it says in Genesis chapter 6, that God is going to destroy it. But actually, in the Hebrew, both of those words, corrupt and destroy, are the same word. So it shows us the idea is that man has destroyed the earth so badly that now, as a consequence, as a result, God is going to destroy man. This is actually a consistent part of God's character, that he recompenses back to us, or that means he gives back to us and to mankind according to the evil that we do. Has this ever happened to you when you've done something wrong at home? I think it probably has. Think about it like this. Sometimes we do something wrong and our parents find out about it, and when they tell us what the consequence is going to be or what our punishment is, you might say the punishment fits the crime. I'll give you an example that sometimes happens around our house with some of our kids, but I won't tell you which ones. So let's say you're playing around the house and you're building something really cool out of Lego. You've spent all afternoon building it. You're really excited about it. Ooh, but your brother or your sister built something really cool too, or they're playing with some really cool toy that they've made, and you see it. And even though yours is really cool, theirs is really cool too. So while they're not looking, you quickly grab it because you want to play with it, but then you're in such a hurry that you accidentally drop it all over the floor. And it smashes into hundreds of pieces. Now what do? You know you're going to be in big trouble when Dad and Mom find out. And sure enough, your sibling goes and tells one of your parents, and your parents come and they say, well, since you destroyed your brother's creation that he spent a long time working on, maybe you should give him what you spent a long time working on. So you have to share your really special Lego creation or whatever it is with your brother. Your parents aren't trying to be mean. They're not trying to take something away from you that you really love. They're actually trying to be like God. They're trying to show you the way that God works with us sometimes. Because that's what God had to do in Noah's day. Mankind had destroyed the earth that God had created, and so God says, well, as a punishment, I'm going to destroy man. But enough with the gloom and doom. In all that darkness and all that wickedness of the world, there stood out one very special man. Genesis chapter 6 tells us that Noah found favor in the eyes of Yahweh. He was like a light shining out in the darkness, this gleaming light out of this pitch black world full of sin and evil. Can I get a volunteer, please, to read Philippians chapter 2, verse 15? Now, this verse was written a long time after Noah, but it actually is a good example of what it was like for Noah. See, Noah and us, we live in a day when there is so much darkness everywhere around us. Well, not really dark outside right now, and it's not even dark in this room, but we live in a very dark world, a world that's full of sin and full of wickedness, a world that actually tries to say that, oh, it's all glittering lights and everything's really bright and it's so attractive, but The way God views it is it's all just darkness, and we need to shine like a light in that darkness. In fact, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 18 says that the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Now, one of the really great things about being at CHC is that you don't have to shine as a light by yourself. Look around you. Your school is full of children and teachers who are trying to shine as lights in a dark world as well. In fact, all around the world, there are 7 other schools, and maybe more that I don't even know about. 7 other Christadelphian schools full of children learning about what they need to learn each day, but also learning to shine as lights in the midst of a dark and evil world. In fact, I wonder if when God looks down on the earth, instead of seeing cities shining brightly like this, you see in this picture, this is actually a map of the whole world, and it shows all the world at night, but it shows the areas that are full of people, thousands or millions of people, with all the lights that they have on in that area, because big cities have a lot of lights. So some of you older ones might be able to pick out where you are on this map and see how bright your area is, but compare that to some of the other really bright areas. Maybe it's really bright where you are because you have Toronto nearby or some other big cities, but there's other really bright areas in the world too. But sometimes I wonder if when God looks down on the earth, instead of seeing that sort of thing, he sees us shining as lights with all the darkness around us. In fact, Jesus even talks about this idea of shining as lights and lots of lights put together. He talks about this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, when he says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." That's the way God sees us. We might each individually just be a single light. And in the midst of a lot of darkness out in the world, you might be able to drown out a single light. But if you take all of us and put us together, take all those lights and put them together like you have in a city, and then you put that city up on a hill, it doesn't matter how dark it is outside. All those lights shining brightly together, they are like a bright light that cannot be hid when that city and all those city lights are set up on a hill. And that's what we want to be like. That's what CHC is like. That's what we as Christadelphians are supposed to be like. We're like a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid, even though the world around us is so dark. Now, to help us all remember, and to help you all remember this lesson of shining as lights, your teachers have something for each of you. They'll give it to you at some point today in your classes, so that tonight when the sun goes down, hopefully this will be a helpful reminder of the need for each of us, whether we're here at CHC during the day or whether we're out in the world, that wherever we are and whatever we're doing, we have to shine as lights in the darkness of the world around us. God be with you all, and have a great day, and God willing, we'll see you all tomorrow.